Hello, this is Shireen Ali. I'm here to share with you what is new in the Deltek PM Compass 8.4 Cumulative Update 9. Narrative Score is a feature that's rolling out in this cumulative update. Narrative Score is a GenAI feature utilizing Azure OpenAI, developed to assist users with the creation and review of the Explanation of Variance reports. So why will customers be excited? This is the first Deltek Della AI feature in PM Compass. Deltek recently introduced Deltek Della, an AI-powered intelligent business companion that is the umbrella of all AI offerings. As Deltek continues to expand its AI capabilities across our product portfolio, we have also been developing best practices and standards into these capabilities. Explanation of variance reports are labor-intensive and quality matters. It can have a big impact to the success of the project in many ways. Things like stakeholder trust, proper root cause identification, risk mitigation, reputation of the customer, and much more. Poorly written narratives can also be very costly if resulting in non-compliance. Narrative Score is here to help with reducing time to writing them for the writers and for the reviewers, and also to help with quality control and reduce that risk. Let me show you how the feature works. In PM Compass, you will now have a new workflow type called Assisted Explanation of Variance. When the user goes to add a new explanation of variance by selecting their control account and adding in their variance, you'll notice when I go in that the Generate Narrative Score button is disabled. But when you start to put in your narrative into the form, you will notice that it will be enabled for you to generate the score. So let me just put in the rest of the narrative. And let's see what kind of score this first narrative gives us. You'll notice a message on the bottom letting you know that it is generating a narrative score and to wait. And it gave a score of 2.5. That is based on a scale of 1 to 5. So definitely is a lower score than you would like. It meets minimal criteria, as you can see. So what ends up happening is it will produce a report, and it will actually show you how you scored on each of the 7 criteria that is industry best practice picked. And it will tell you when you have a lower score and below 3 in any of them, it will give you improvement tips on what you can do to improve this narrative score and to improve the quality. So some pretty good tips, like in the metrics and quantification, will tell you specifically what kind of metrics you may want to include in your narrative to make it a stronger explanation. And it will tell you where you've done well and where you can improve your terms. This report you can copy and paste from it as needed, because sometimes it will give you suggestions on how to reward things, especially in like the structure. You could also print it, whether you want to print it onto a printer or even to a PDF to share with other users if you're collaborating on completing this narrative. Once the user takes all of the suggestions and redoes it, you can keep rescoring this until you get it to a score that you are happy with. So I'm going to redo this with some of the suggestions it gave and see what score it gives me then. So you hit generate score, narrative score once more, and it will rescore based on all the changes you just plugged in. And hopefully the improvement tips that were given makes the score a better one. And it does. Score of 4 was generated. and it's telling you how each of the criteria has been rescored again. And there are some still improvement tips if you want to get to 5, which is the highest you can get. Or if this is an acceptable score, you can close it from here and save it. Obviously, that is up to you and the organization. What this does, though, is this does save time for users when they're creating it. They may have missed something, but also for anyone that typically reviews these. There's already an initial review being done by GenAI for you, and that is time that takes a lot of time for a reviewer to do that. So this also helps with the quality control that we mentioned in a standard way, so that these can go out in a better quality and reduce the risk of any kind of non-compliance or any other kind of issues that poorly written narratives can cause. To activate the feature, you have to have an Azure OpenAI account, and it has to be your own, so you are in control. That is a Deltek principle, and it is an opt-in, so you can decide when you're ready to activate by going into EPMSA and going into System Settings, and you will see a new screen called AI, where you need to key in your Azure OpenAI credentials. You will need your API key, your deployment name, and your endpoint URL. When you've put them in, you click on Test Connection to make sure it's been entered correctly. And if you have, you will get a connection successful. So that is all I had to share with you today. That is how the feature works and how you activate it. I hope I've demonstrated that we are using the Deltek principle that I mentioned earlier. It is an opt-in feature that you turn on when you're ready by activating an EPMSA. We have privacy in mind because we are working with partners that will not share your data to train the models. And then finally, security. You have access to access controls on the new workflow type. So you can decide who can use this new feature when you're ready. That's all I had for you today. I'm excited for our first GenAI feature, and we plan to enhance it based on your feedback. So please enter an idea in the idea portal if you have any suggestions on what we can do next. Thank you.